December 28. Good news. Esther chapter 8 verse 17. And in every province and city, wherever the king's command and decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a holiday. Then many of the people of the land became Jews, because fear of the Jews fell upon them. Have you noticed how much bad news you are hearing lately? Terrorism, corruption, and murder fill the headlines. Such terms as AIDS, the Ebola virus, and ethnic cleansing have become household words. Many people long just to hear a little good news. The Jews of Esther's time felt the same way. They were inundated with bad news. To their dismay, they learned that the wicked Haman had influenced the king to order their destruction. For months they lived with the threat of death hanging over their heads. Apprehensively, they watched as their enemies gathered around them like jackals waiting for a kill. Then came the good news. Haman's plot had been foiled. Instead of being helpless victims, they were given the right to defend themselves. What was to have been their day of destruction became a day of victory instead. Weeping and mourning were thankfully replaced with rejoicing and celebrating. To a world weary of bad news, Christians also have the privilege of sharing some wonderfully good news. The good news of Christ proclaims that there is victory over the evil one who would destroy us. No longer do we have to live without hope and in fear of death. We can rejoice and celebrate instead. Since we live in a sinful world, there still will be plenty of bad news to talk about. But ask God to send someone across your path today who is tired of hearing bad news. Then share with them the good news that can be found only when you place your faith in Jesus Christ. Let others report the bad news, we'll share the good news. Amen.